Maybe you have an elderly parent and it's come down to the fact that they have a health concern or they've financially run out of money, something like that, but they are talking about needing to move in with you, or you are considering that it would be the best thing for them if they moved in with you. So there are many things to consider before you do have a parent come to live with you. But one of the biggest things to think about is the financial considerations. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, it's Robin with SeniorSafetyAdvice.com. Tune into our channel for tips and hints for seniors and caregivers about aging in place safely. So, financial considerations. If you're going to have mom or dad move in, there are so many things to think about financially. One of the first things that you need to consider is how is your current home set up for your parent? And maybe for the future of your parent. So, in other words, maybe you have an able bodied parent that would like to move in with you or that you're considering coming to live with you. And they're in pretty decent shape. Maybe, it's just more of a money question on their part, or maybe they're moving in to help you financially, whatever. The thing is they may be able bodied now, but will they be in the future? And if you have a parent who does have some health concerns, how will they be able to be in your house? So what I'm saying is you're going to maybe need to consider money for remodeling the home. You'll, at the very least, probably need to install grab bars in the bathrooms. You'll need to do things like remove or tape down area rugs, especially if the person has a walker or a wheelchair. What about bedrooms? Most houses, if they have an upstairs, the bedrooms are upstairs. So, how will your parent be able to negotiate those stairs? Are they going to have to, maybe, are you going to have to move the bedroom downstairs or maybe down into the basement? One of the things about the basement is, can they get up the basement stairs if they need to? So I have a friend whose father was doing pretty well with a walker, and then he had an accident and ended up being in the wheelchair. So he moved in with her because he needed suddenly 24/7 care. And they didn't have anything in place because, of course, they weren't expecting that. So now he is in the basement, but they've modified their basement stairs with a stair lift. So that's a consideration for you. They had to reconfigure the bathroom down there in order to make sure that it was a zero threshold shower so that he could get his wheelchair into the shower. Of course, the grab bars we talked about, they had to enlarge doorways in order to be able to let the wheelchair in. So those are things that you need to think about. The next consideration is how much money do your parents have? And I'm not saying you need to know specifically because that is usually a private concern, but the point is going to be, are they going to pay for this remodeling if that needs to be done? Are they splitting costs with you if that needs, something like that needs to be done, or is that coming out of your pocket? And then that money that they have also goes for everything else. So, in other words, when they move in, if they're going to move in, you need to decide how are you guys going to split the bills and things like that before they move in. Those things need to be thought about and put in place and agreed upon and decided on and all that before your parent ever moves in, because if not, it can become a problem down the road. So you guys need to think about, what are you going to do about food costs? Are they going to split it with you? Are they going to just pay for their portion? What about more utility bills? It's going to cost more to have another person living in the house. So your utility bills will increase. Are they going to contribute to those bills? How much are they going to contribute? Things like that. Another thing to consider, the third thing, is what is your parents' state of mind, their cognitive abilities? In other words, are you taking your parent in because they're in the early stages of dementia or Alzheimer's? If that's the case, you really want to be sure that they have their estate plan in place before any, cognitive abilities decrease further. You also want to be sure that you have things put in place like a medical power of attorney and things like that. So I would advise you to go to an attorney. Most of them have a free consultation, but you should be able to go to an attorney for family planning type of thing and get all of those financial documents in place if your parent does not have them in place already. The next thing to consider, number 4 on the list, is transportation. So again, you may have an able-bodied parent who's perfectly healthy, going back and forth to work, and you guys are just living together because it's cheaper, and that's fine. But if it's a parent that's going to not be able to drive, who's going to take them to things like the doctor, the dentist, to get medications, anything like that? Is that going to be you? If not, is it going to be Uber? Are they able to drive? Is there a senior transportation system near you? Whatever, things like that need to be thought about as well. The next thing to think about is insurance costs. If your parent is moving into your home, what will be the difference in insurance for you? And again, how are you going to split that, or who's going to take care of that? But you might have another car in the home, and so that's going to raise rates. You may have a home that increases in value because you did the remodeling in the home to allow the parent to come in. So then who pays for that difference in rate? I know it sounds like I'm being nitpicky, but these are things that can crop up over time if you haven't thought about them. So it's better to try and think about it and address those things in the beginning before the person ever moves in. Another consideration is taxes. So sometimes you may be thinking that like Social Security is going to pay to if you're going to be the caregiver. That's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of things, a lot of rules that the IRS has about how families are taxed if you have somebody who you're taking care of. Are you quitting your job in order to take care of this parent if they move in? Then you've lost finances. So how is that income going to be replaced? Is your parent going to do that? I mean, maybe they've got money saved up and they'll be able to pay for your caregiving, or maybe they would just hand you their Social Security check in return for living at your place rent free and having you take care of them. However you work it all out, it's again another consideration. Oh, and along those same lines, can you write off caregiving expenses? So it may be wise to go visit a tax attorney to find out some of the answers to these questions before your parent moves in. The last thing that I would tell you to consider and talk with your parent about and hammer out the details on is privacy needs. Because when you have a parent who moves in, that house that you're in now is also their house. So are they going to be restricted from coming into certain places? For example, your private bedroom. I would think that would be the case, but it's not something that people think about sometimes. So maybe you just don't want mom in your craft room or something like that. You guys need to sit down and work out those details before the person moves in. And the same thing goes on the other side. If you have a parent who's basically healthy and is moving in with you, then you don't really need to be in their private space to help them out either. Anyway, think about those tiny details. Talk with your parent. Make sure that you come to an agreement on things before they move in with you. It will save a lot of heartache down the road. So I hope these tips have been helpful. I'm going to link to our article about those tips down in the description below. And please visit our website for more hints and tips at seniorsafetyadvice.com. Until the next video, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.